2, 1.
Have you ever wondered how they move the holes on a golf course putting green? Well, today I'm going to show you. First off, I'm going to introduce the tools. This right here is the actual cup cutter. This is what you use to actually pull the plug out where you're going to put your new cup. This is the lever. It's a very simple device. Our second, this is the depth gauge for the cup. To set the cup, it's very necessary that you set it the right depth, or a putt could miss, you know, the mower could hit it. There's a lot of things that could happen that you don't want the cup to be closer to the ground or too deep. The third tool, this is the cup puller. This is how you get the cup out of, you know, the hole. So there's our tools. I also have a little shovel because after doing this 18 times, your fingers will get raw if you're digging sand out without the shovel. So first, when we start, we're going to look for a green spot, a very nice spot, something that's easy to putt. The typical rule is you want to be at least 3 paces from the edge. You want to be at least 3 paces from the previous cup, and you want to be at least 3 paces from any major slope. That's kind of the rule of thumb. There's no actual regulation, but that's the rule of thumb that the USGA supposedly goes by. So I'm gonna find a green spot, and I'm looking right here. This looks pretty good to me. A lot of times, if I can find a ball mark close to where I'm gonna cut the cup, I try to take that out. Because when I take it out and move it and put my sand, which you'll see, it will help the ball mark heal faster. So the first thing, you wanna get your cup cutter in the ground. You wanna take a step back. You wanna look at your cup cutter the way the hole is played first, and then you want to go perpendicular to the way that the hole is played to make sure that it's level. So the cup cutter right now is not exactly level in this direction. It just needs to move a little bit that way. Okay, now that you have that, you can go ahead and move through pulling the rest of the plug. Now when cutting a cup, you want this gauge right here to be flush with the ground, but you don't want to get to the ground and twist it on the ground, or you will bruise the grass on the putting green. So you pull your plug nice and slow, easy, make sure you don't damage the edge. Everything looks good. So we're gonna take our cup cutter to our old hole, and we're gonna set it aside for right now. You're gonna pull your flag, take your cup puller, and there's always a little bit of dirt most of the time in the bottom of the cup. You want to clean that out back into the hole. That's the safest place to put it. It doesn't get on the green. It's not off the green. Next comes your depth gauge. You take your depth gauge, you bring it over to the hole that you just cut. You take it. Be very easy when you're going in. You go in from the side. You can go halfway down. This is a good way to know whether your flag is going to sit level or not. If it sits level here, if you get it in a little bit and it sits level here, it's going to be pretty level when you set the rest of the cup down. So take your depth gauge now, put it on there. You want to give it a nice step. A nice, even, level step. You want that to be flush with the ground. Again, don't twist it on there. Doesn't have to be a stomp, but you want to get it to the ground. You want to get it to regulation depth. Make sure you remove that easily so you don't damage the edge of the new cup. Softly put your flag into the cup, and that's how you set the cup. Our last part is probably the most important part when changing a cup. Okay, so replacing the plug in the previous hole is the most important part for the turf's sake. So you can set the cup. Now when you look at that, you can see that this is going to be way too high. We have to have the plug level, completely level with the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and take, you don't have to take the whole thing back out. You can take 2 or 3 inches, okay? take my shovel, and you know, you could see this gauge right here was 1/2 inch off of the ground. So that's how much dirt that I want to remove from this hole. So I take my 1/2 inch off the top, make sure you don't get it on the green, take it off of the green, and give it a very nice dispersal. Don't put it in one cloth, just no one ever knew it was there now. Very simple. Continuing with our final step, you want to take your cup cutter, be easy with the edge, and we're going to put the top half of this plug back in, and it should be very level. Okay, so you can see, I don't know if you can see, this edge is up a little bit. Just give it a soft step. Just level it out, pack it with your foot. It's the easiest way. I always take my hand and I give it a good rub this way. I give it a good rub this way. Okay. If your hand will move across and you don't feel it, the mower will move across and you won't scalp it. That's a major deal. Because if you set it too high and you scalp off the top, that plug of turf is going to die. And that is not what you want. Okay, so in order to help this plug grow into the rest of the grass around it, it was just put into stress. So to help it, we're going to put a little bit of sand. We're going to fill in these edges, fill in that ball mark, give it just a nice little top dress, and that's it. That's how you change a cup on a golf course putting green.